Well, Jesus, this quality. Ugh. Mother of divine Christ. Fucking hell, my computer is so slow. Anyway, today I went to go to the cinema to see Scream 5. I got back just there, or like about an hour ago, in the shopping centre known as Swords, which is in Dublin, in Ireland. So here's my ticket. Uh, yeah, I refuse to call it Scream. It's Scream 5, and I know they have a scene in the movie where they say it's a requel. No, it's not. It's a fucking sequel. They said it was Scream 5. The actors, the cast, everyone who done updates on it said it was Scream 5. It's canon. All the first four movies are mentioned in this one. It's canon. Yes, it is unusual that I'm reviewing this one first, considering that I haven't done my reviews for the first four yet, which I will. But I've also, like, if you watch my channel back in the day, you know that I've probably reviewed them for. So I love all four movies. The first four movies, I think they're great. Second and third one, I think are underrated, and the fourth one actually, I think they're all underrated. So yeah, Scream 5. I've wanted this movie to happen for years. It's been 11 years since the last one, and then when the last one came out, it was 11 years before that one. Well, it hasn't been exactly 11 years yet, but so Scream 5 was directed by the directors of Ready or Not. This is the first film not to be directed by Wes Craven because he unfortunately passed away in 2015. Um, Basically, what the plot of Scream 5 is about, I'm so fucking happy I get to say that, is essentially this woman ends up getting a phone call um, and basically ends up getting brutally attacked by none other than Ghostface. And essentially, she actually ends up surviving the killing for once because, like, every other movie, the main person that gets a phone call at the start dies. This girl actually lives and is in a lot of the movie. Essentially, you got this new group of teens. This girl, uh, Samantha, and she's with her boyfriend and stuff. And essentially, Samantha's sister is the one who was attacked at the beginning. But Samantha has a very dark past and a history of mental illness. I think uh, she has these kind of schizophrenic episodes, I believe. So essentially, she goes to visit her sister and is worried that she's getting attacked. And essentially, she feels responsible because, spoiler alert, it turns out that she is none other than the daughter of Billy Loomis, the villain, the character from the first Scream movie, the killer. She often sees visions and hallucinations of him, meaning that Ski Ulrich actually fucking came back to play Billy Loomis again, and they de-aged him. And dude, I swear, the de-aging on him is fucking amazing. It honestly looks like he just came from the 90s and they put him in this movie. It's the only time it was a bit off, I think, was when she's driving in the car and he's talking to her then. But anyway, so she feels guilty over that, which causes some family drama. So essentially, these killings in Woodsboro start happening. They reach out to Dewey, who is now split up with Gail again. They divorced, and he's retired as sheriff again. And essentially, they go to him, and he basically, because he's had experience four other times, he's basically explained the rules. And eventually, Gail and Sydney get involved as well, and they have to try and stop Ghostface from all these killings because he starts killing more and more people. And there's two killers. Come on, it's tradition. The only Scream movie that didn't have two was the third one, but this one, two killers. Good, because some fucking dickhead spoiled it on me. So yeah, and we do get returning characters like Randy's sister actually comes back in a quick scene where she's like, "Oh, here you go, here you go, Dewey. There you go. My brother liked it. There you go." And Sister actually comes back in a quick scene where she's like, "Oh, here you go, here's you go, Dewey. There you go. My brother liked it. There you go." And Mom, can you please go, please? And there's a nice little memorial thing for Randy. because he died in Scream 2. And so his sister from Scream 3 comes back, and Judy Hicks from Scream 4, the cop, comes back. But not for long. She dies. So, what did I think of Scream 5? Fucking loved it. Dude, I thought this movie was great. It's nice to finally see a new horror movie that doesn't retcon any of the last ones. I know they have a discussion in one scene about this being a requel, and in some senses, it is, but it's not. Dude, it really isn't. It has the three legacy characters in there. You know, four even. Like you have fucking Ski. You have a couple of returning cast members from the previous movies, and you've got a new group of teens, and it is canon with the Force Four. Like there's even a scene later on in the movie. Yeah, I had a fun time with this one too. Later on in the movie, where like no, not later on, early on in the movie, where uh the main character Samantha and her boyfriend are driving, and she's like, the Woodsboro killers, where there's every decade or so someone decides to go and murder people in Woodsboro and all that, and then like the guy's like, yeah, and she's like, the last time it happened in 2011 was in 2011, which was Scream 4. I thought that the kills in this movie were fucking great. I actually thought the opening scene was nice because like there was a please wait while we try and reconnect you. Okay. I thought the opening scene where Samantha like it's all building suspense, she's putting on music, talking to her friend or whatever. Or not Samantha, her fucking sister. And there's this build up, and then like you hear this guy on the phone, and it's Ghostface because it's Roger L. Jackson doing the voice again. Like, he's has his normal voice, and he's like, do you like scary movies? And then they mention movies like The Babadook and Hereditary and all that other stuff. And then like Ghostface comes in, stabs her over and over. Like, honestly, how the fact she didn't die, she fucks up her leg. She becomes disabled, and then it pretty much the title pops up the exact same way it does in the first one. Like the cops are at the door, and he just stabs her, and it pops up screen. And then we're introduced to the two characters, Samantha, who works at this one place, and then her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's kind of a very comedic character throughout the movie, cracks jokes. Now, I will say he did get very fucking annoying after a while. That was an issue I had. I found him to get really, really fucking annoying, and he was trying to be funny. And look, it's like, dude, you're not Randy, you're not Corby, you're just not like, you're not that funny of a character. He was a bit of an asshole, I thought, as well. Like that scene where like he's driving away and she's like, oh shit, I forgot my inhaler, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going back to the hospital because it's a fucking murder town. It's like, dude, fuck you. And then he's, there's that funny scene later where they call back to the original. I'll be right back. And she's like, yeah, you're gonna die. That was funny. And he disappears and stuff. But he does turn out to be one of the killers. I actually really liked how it was done, because my friend turned to me and go, he's sus, he's definitely going to be one of the killers. And I'm thinking, nah, because that would just be too obvious. And they make it obvious. They're trying to make it obvious throughout the movie. And, there's even a part where we'll satisfy your wish online. Yeah, okay, love face. Yeah. Anyway, fun fact, I have a stepdad. My first name Randy, last name Corby. Yeah. Damn. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, they're very similar characters, but yeah, so like the character, I can't remember the character's name. I've definitely seen the actor Quaid. I'm not sure if I think he's Dennis Quaid's son. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, so like, he does get attacked by Ghostface, which was very callback to the original. But he does turn out to be one of the killers. I didn't see it coming because it was like, they're not gonna do that. They've done the boyfriend thing before. They've done it in Scream 1. They've done it in the TV series as well. Um, which that's coming back as well. I'm glad because that series is great. But yeah, I thought David Arquette in this movie was fucking amazing. You get the sense that he's tortured and he's a little bit depressed. He's in a cabin, he's telling people go away and all that stuff. And like they go to talk, like, look, I'm Billy Loomis's daughter, you need to talk to me and stuff. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not buying that. And he says the rules and he is suspicious of the boyfriend's like, okay, has he done this, that, and the other? Um, he mentions the fact that he's been stabbed a bunch of times, which I believe is a callback to Scream 2. He was stabbed in the first one as well, but still. But he's watching Gale Weathers on the news, But I like how this movie didn't actually show Sydney to like a good chunk in. Because like they kind of done something similar with Scream 4 where like there is kind of new characters, but the legacy characters were still in that movie a lot. They were still the main characters. Whereas in this one, they're honestly not. It's like what they done with the new Halloween movie, and they've even recently done it with the Chucky TV series as well. Um, so yeah, but I really liked Sydney's out on a stroll and she's like, "Oh my god, Dewey, it's been ages," and he's like, "It's happening again," and she has kids and a husband, and she's done right, and she's not gonna come back, and she's like, please be careful, foreshadowing what happens later. I also love the fact that James A. Janice, the YouTuber Dead Meat, actually made a fucking cameo. He was reviewing the stab movies, like doing a kill count or something. Like, yeah, like what was that? A flamethrower? And his girlfriend Chelsea is like, yeah, that was weird. And I was like, oh my fuck! I was like, no, they're in this. I was like, holy shit, and he has the grey ghost face mask. But yeah, I thought it was great that there were some great actors in this, like Dylan Minnette of 13 Reasons Why fame. He was also in Goosebumps. Alexander the Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. He was in Don't Breathe, The Open House. It was great to see him in it. It's like, yeah, you could be the killer. He could be the killer. He's at the beginning. They're all talking, similarly to how they were in the first one. Uh, Amber, the actress that played her, was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And she was a psychopath in that. And she's a psychopath in this because she's the killer. So there's moments where she's crying and like, oh my God, and like going to hospital, are you okay? And just, acting all upset. And then she goes into the basement and you're like, okay, this is obviously a callback of when Rose McGowan went to go get beer in the first one. But then another girl talks to her, and at first you're thinking there's going to be like a lesbian makeout scene. And I was like, oh, I can't wait. Uh, yeah, a lot of YouTubers been hearing the movies yet. Like, yeah, I was shocked that it was just James A. Janice. I'm like, damn. Because like not a lot of people I know would know him. I would know him because I watch him. But I was like, holy shit, Dead Meat's in this movie. So yeah, and he's actually interviewed the cast as well. But yeah, so they're talking like I might be the killer in a really flirty way. But I like this new girl. She was like the new Randy. I like the one of my favorite parts is when she gathers everyone together, including David Arquette, teams up with the new characters, and she mentions a bunch of reboots. She mentions like I believe Halloween, and I don't think she mentions the new Halloween, but she actually mentions Child's Play, which is like, oh my god, this is the first time they've actually mentioned a Chucky movie and a Scream movie. So they mentioned the new Child's Play remake that came out a couple of years ago. I like the little Easter eggs. Like there was a sign that said Elm Street. One of the characters' name was Wes. Obviously, Wes Craven. There's someone named Carpenter as well. Yeah, I thought Sydney's role in the movie was great. Gale Weathers appears, and like you can see how much she's kind of grown since the original movie because she's just wanting to tell her story and all this shit. Whereas I feel like, she genuinely shows concern when after Dylan Minnette's character gets killed, he has a shower and it's like a reference to Psycho, and the killer attacks him and he's like, fuck you, and then stabs the guy in in the throat and it goes right through. I love the bit where Judy Hicks is kind of, there's a bit of tension between her and like Samantha. The hospital, there's a great scene where like she's at home, she takes a knife, Dylan Minnette jumps out at her, or not on purpose, and then she goes, and then there's that great scene where Ghostface is like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill your baby boy," and then she turns around, and then like Ghostface comes out and stabs her multiple times. Um, I feel like this movie comes full circle, and I actually wouldn't mind if they ended it here, but they're not going to do that. They're going to make more because it has a lot of money. Because you know, I feel like there was elements of each Scream movie in there. They reference all of them. You Judy Hicks from number 4 coming back. You had the sister from Scream 3 coming back as well. Um, you also had Skeet Ulrich making a couple of appearances, like, "Oh, it's in me. You have to kill her." And I love when she's like, "Don't fuck with the daughter of a serial killer," and kills the killer at the end. And like Skeet Ulrich, um, shows up, and he shows up a couple of times in the movie, as like a vision. I also like the way they played the dun, dun, dun music again. And that guy that like there's an actor that's in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake in this. He plays like the kind of guy that one of the girls hooked up with. It's like, is that dude? It's like, yeah, um, and stuff like that. And then like he kind of gets into an argument in the bar, and Ghostface kills him after playing that music. A lot of great new ideas. I thought different. I like the relationship between the two girls. The most heartbreaking scene is Dewey actually dies in this movie. So they actually killed a legacy character, which was predicted, but I was like, are they actually gonna do that? And yeah, there's a great scene in the hospital where there's almost a little callback to Halloween 2, where the girl's in a wheelchair is on the ground, and then like he's like, "Oh, what's happening?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just stalling," the ghost face like that, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm just stalling fucker," and they're trying to shoot at him, and they do. Dewey's like, "Nah, you got to shoot them in the head." He goes back, and then Ghostface just fucking stabs him to death. And he's like, "It's an honor." And it was emotional because his body's taken out, and then Gail starts breaking down, and then that's when Sydney comes and introduces herself. Samantha's not 100% on board with whatchamacallit, Sydney coming back. She's like, "Oh, I won't sleep till he's in the ground." Um, you know, Tara, that was the girl's name. Yeah, Tara. She was the main character's name. Not the main character's name, the sister's name. Um, but like, yeah, so you've that. I think another thing that makes it come full circle is the finale actually takes place in the original house, Stu's house from the first one. Billy and Stu are mentioned quite a lot. There's a party going on. I like the bit where the guy and the girl are making out. It's like, "Look, I'm not trying to be bad because you might be the killer, so I don't want to have sex with you." Then she goes outside. He goes outside, and first of all, this guy's a fucking dumbass. Like, he lives at, "Oh, Find My Fam." Is that even a real app? Like, I know there's Find My Phone, but like, so he's there, and then Ghostface stabs him over and over. Um, and then Gail and Sydney walk to the house, and like, you know, uh the girl ends up fine, like everyone leaves, like, "Look, there's a killer, everyone fuck off, get out," and all this stuff. And it's like, "Oh, who has a party during a murder spree?" And the guy is just sus throughout the entire movie. Like, he's like watching Stab on Netflix. I need to know my research. um but I do actually love the beginning where he's asking Stab trivia questions, and they mentioned Stab as a requel and Stab 8, and they're still keeping that going. And he asks who was the actress that played the main lead in the set. And I was like, that was Heather Graham played her. But I was thinking, was Graham playing an actress? No, she was playing herself. And you see in the other cast, you've Luke Wilson, who actually had a cameo on Scream 2, David Schwimmer, who was meant to play Dewey in that. I really like that. So you had a nice balance of that. But the finale is batshit crazy. Like it's like the first movie, except like ramped up. Everyone leaves. There's a suspenseful scene where she's like they're watching Stab, so we get to see the movie play out of like the bit where Randy was about to get attacked, and she's watching Halloween. I was about to say Home Alone. And she's like turning around, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And then she makes out with a girl as well, which is kind of hot. So anyway, he stabs. The girl comes out covered in blood, and it's like, "Why are you covered in blood?" And Amber's acting all sus, like, no, 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 why you, how could you do that? And she's like, I'm not the fucking killer. And she's like, yeah, I know. Just pulls the gun and fucking shoots her, which was a fucking badass reveal. And then she started acting like her character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Um, you get the motive, and then eventually Samantha runs in, and the guy tries to help her, and then he stabs her and says, I just really wanted to kill you. And then he has the voice thing, and they teamed up, and it pretty much plays out like an over the top version of the finale from the first one. I love how Sydney and Gail are just so fucking used to it. So they're walking like, yeah, what do you think? And she's like, help me, help me. Nah, and he's like, oh fuck it. And then the motive is actually that Hollywood doesn't have any original ideas, which I fucking laughed at that because, like, basically, these are obsessed fans, and they're like, yeah, we want to do something, bring it back to the original, and we want to fucking. There's no one more evil than the daughter of um Billy Loomis, and she does end up fucking killing the main killer. Um, and she's like, "You've seen one too many movies." Like, no. So they fight. They beat the shit out of each other. There's a great fight scene. The girl comes out with a crush and starts smashing him, smashing the girl. Um, the first killer dies, but the second killer dies by getting stabbed to death. Don't fuck with the daughter of a serial killer. And then the other girl's like, no, 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 I'm sorry about Dewey. And he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm young. It's like, you killed my best friend. And he's like, yeah, and he died like a pussy. And then she's like, I'm sorry about Dewey. And she's like, fuck you. And then she just shoots her over and over, and she goes on fire. And then they shoot her in the head, it's like, nah, because they always come back. And then the girl comes back all burnt, and then fucking shoots her. And then, like, 25 years ago, the day this happened, and it ends with the exact same shot as the original. This movie I thought was great. I really enjoyed it. I did think some of the callbacks were a little bit over the top. Like, okay, having some of the same shots was a little bit what the new Halloween done. Um, but this movie, it was really suspenseful in my opinion. I thought the kills were great. Very well shot, very well directed, nice wide look. It's a good looking movie. It fits the modern time perfectly. It was great. It honestly would be a great finale, I think, because it kind of everything kind of came full circle. Um, I did like having the ending in the original house, but I kind of hope if when they do Scream 6, because let's face it, they're going to do another one, that they do have a better, like a new finale, because like Scream 2, that ended in the fucking uh theater stage. Scream 3 ended like in a big house movie set. Scream 4 was a different house, but it's still a different place, you know. But at the same time, I still felt like it came full circle, and it was nice to see that location again, in the kitchen again in modern day. But yeah, overall, I thought the movie was great. Uh, it was nice to see the legacy characters. I like how Gail's like, ask me in a few days how I am, and Sydney's like, "You ready?" And she's like, "Never." Um, First of all, may I say, Nev Campbell is fucking gorgeous. Like, she has not aged a fucking day. Like, holy shit. Or like she aged like fine wine, as people say. But but yeah, she done a great job. Like, so did Courtney Cox, David Arquette. Like, the acting for the most part was pretty good. Some of them teens are a little bit you know. Um, there's that. I felt like Samantha during the scene where she gets attacked in the hospital or whatever. She's like, "Oh, a killer's after me," and then that Asian guy also got his throat slit, but you don't see it. Um, I believe the guy at the end, the guy that was the dumbass that had to follow my phone, I believe he actually survived, if I'm not mistaken. I also love how the credits popped up and it's like for Wes, so they dedicated it to Wes Craven, and I liked how the credits were done very similar to the way they were done in the first movie or the earlier films. So it was a nice anniversary movie. Um, but yeah, overall, really love Scream 5. I'd probably give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. Probably an 8 out of 10. There was just a couple of issues I had with it, but it was great. I still think the first one is the best. I never think that movie is going to be able to be topped. I think that the first one will always be the best one. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad we got to get a Scream 5 because I just thought they'd never do one. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So hope you guys liked the review. See you guys later. Bye.